just spit out my gum and I come on here and you're.
I'm sorry. I'm having a late dinner, so
It's okay. No, it's okay. Ah,
welcome to this food podcast where we talk about things we just ate.
I've only had gum, so I don't know.
Whoa!
It's a short podcast.
I guess that's a low calorie option if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I just swallow it, so it's a couple more. But that's good.
Welcome to the Party Pal. This is a podcast by us, the Loomer Brothers. I'm Preston Loomer.
I'm Nathan Loomer.
And we talk about movies that we like. And this week, Nate picked movies where the villain wins.
Big spoiler.
I guess it's more movies where the hero loses.
Or hero loses, yeah.
Yeah, because a couple of them, it's not really that the villain wins so much as just the other person definitely doesn't.
Yeah, that's it.
We picked a plethora of decent ones. This one actually was, like, I didn't hate any of these.
No, I didn't hate any of these. It's very nice to watch all of these.
Yep. So I picked, let's see what I picked. I picked No Country for Old Men, Avengers Infinity War, and The Omen.
And I picked Monty Python and the Holy Grail, Creep, and The Wicker Man.
Yes. And I have decided.
Oh, you decided. Okay.
That we're going to bring back our favorite way of ranking movies. The spoon metric.
Who are we spooning?
The bad guy.
The bad guy.
So it's least to most likely to spoon.
So are you telling me that Monty Python's gonna be the last pick?
I don't know. Would you spoon those French dudes? That's the question.
Oh gosh. Well, no.
I should have warned you.
I know. I'm like looking. I'm like, oh god.
Okay. Of the 6 villains in the movie, and you can take, like, if there's like a cult, you can take like the leader.
The cult, yeah. No, I was thinking because I know the Wicker Man's my number 1. That's a given then.
That's so interesting. I know what my number 6 is. If you want me to start.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna go with the Omen because I wouldn't want to spoon a child.
Yeah, that's right. The child's the villain. Is it the child though, or is it like a demon?
That's the question. Is it a child or is it the Antichrist? The Omen is from 1976. It's by director Richard Donner, who is most famous for Superman, which I did not know, and The Goonies. I think he did The Goonies.
Right.
I want to say Richard Donner was Goonies.
He did Lethal Weapon.
He did Lethal Weapon, yeah. He's done a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But he did this before he did any of that.
Yes.
And the premise of it is simply family has a stillbirth, but at the same time in the hospital, a different family has like an orphan child left there. And so they just kind of switch the babies and no one's the wiser until it turns out the baby's the Antichrist. And I'm going to start by saying this movie ruined my birthday for so long.
God. I know.
For anyone who hasn't followed,
it was a hard year.
I was going to say, for anyone who hasn't followed our podcast until now, my birthday is June 6th. So, especially in 2006, it was like 06.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "You're the devil." And I was like, if I'm the devil, do you really want to be tempting me with this right now?
Yeah, you better stop.
Because let's be real, if the apocalypse is coming, you're going to be first.
Oh, gosh. But he's got a stellar... I love Gregory Peck, but I also like Lee Rimnick, who I didn't know was in it until I watched it. So.
Yeah, no, it's got a solid cast. And the kid they got is... fantastic. He's good at playing both the like shade throwing devil boy and like the cute little kid.
Devil boy.
I was gonna ask you, have you seen Little Evil?
I have not.
Okay, it's on Netflix. It's a comedy. Adam Scott plays the Antichrist stepdad.
Oh my gosh.
So he's like not the kid's father. But he's like and it's like a metaphor for that, like when you're the new parent in a family. But it's so funny. But I just couldn't stop thinking about it the whole time I was watching this.
Oh my gosh, this is the only movie on the list I didn't see before we did the list. So that was a big spoiler when you told me to watch The Omen. I was like, well,
yeah.
I don't know what happened.
I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not the biggest spoiler, and it doesn't end as, I guess, like, dramatically as some of the other ones do. There's no big climax. It's just kind of like everybody dies and the kid doesn't.
Yeah.
Spoilers. We're gonna spoil all these.
Spoiler.
Spoiler for anyone who just joined in. We're everybody in this movie who is the person you're rooting against wins.
I love the fact that the guy who played it, though, has only been in 2 things, really. He played the kid, and then he was in the remake of The Omen as a news reporter.
Yeah.
That's
his thing.
It's his whole thing.
I like saw most of the sort of coincidental deaths happening, except the guy who got decapitated. Yes. I was not ready for that.
No, it's for the most part, it's just people falling off of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, people falling off stuff. One guy gets impaled with a spear.
Yeah.
Which I think, I was wondering, is that, remember when in Hot Fuzz the priest gets crushed by the thing that, I wonder if that's a reference, because it looked very similar. Oh,
we're going to have another Hot Fuzz trivia thing later in this then. That's so great.
Oh no! So much Hot Fuzz!
I like the fact that Gregory Peck is normally the man who knows what's going on, has no fucking idea what's going on, ever.
Yes.
My favorite part of this whole thing.
Don't you want to make like a horror film where the guy who survives is just the guy who happens to not know what's going on around him? He's just like there.
I don't know what's happening.
Oh god, that'd be so funny. There's one of the Friday the 13th has a character who just like vanishes halfway through, like he goes to a bar and never comes back, and he lives. But I was like, what if I want to make the movie where that dude comes back to the campground the next day and everybody's dead? Yeah, he's just like, what the hell did I miss?
Oh my god. Oh, it's so, I would love that. Oh.
God, yeah, that'd be so funny. This is one of those movies, it feels like a spiritual successor to Rosemary's Baby. If you've seen that, like, it feels like it's a continuation to that sort of evil child horror movies. And it's one of the few movies I thought that, like, it's really slow, but it doesn't need to be any faster. I apologize for weird noises. My dog is trying to dig through the floor.
It's all good. I get it.
Come here.
Nope, I had that. I had poltergeist feelings while watching it a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Creepy kids. It's just
creepy,
all it is.
Creepy kids. Shining. Some of the cast of It. I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
Not the new one, the Tim Curry one. That's
the Tim Curry one.
Always the Tim Curry one.
The comedy one. Sorry.
And then some of the stuff where it was just like some of the words I wrote down, because they use a lot of weird like Latin and German words, and I wrote down, I was like, Bugenlegen is definitely a sex position somewhere. I don't.
You just offended some culture, and
I did. It's probably my own, for the record. I took one of those 23andMe's, and the answer was hella white.
Hella white? Oh my gosh. Oh.
I also, this is some of the decorum choices. I was like, I get that they're trying to go for kind of a creepy castle look, but why was there a giant clown painting in the pool room?
Yeah, they're just asking for trouble.
I was just like, did the set designer just see that and was like, that'll work? And then nobody even considered maybe that's the weirdest thing to have in the pool room.
Like that. I like the cemetery a lot, though.
Cemetery was cool. I will say, as is the case with most old horror films, this is like one score change away from being a comedy. Yes. Like if the music's different, suddenly everything's really funny.
That's how we do it.
That bit where the mom's like running away from all the stuff that's like collapsing and she's like panicking and and you're sitting there, I was like, man, you changed some pacing and a little bit of music and that's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. One of the women, Billy White. So here's the Hot Fuzz trivia before we get out of here. Her last movie role, Mrs. Baylock in this movie, was Hot Fuzz as Joyce Cooper. It was her last thing. So that's why I'm thinking the Hot Fuzz references are real. Because
that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Especially because she was creepy as hell in this.
Yeah.
As soon as she showed up, I was like, that nanny's bad news. You don't need to tell me twice. That woman is going to screw some people over.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Now I do want to watch the remake of it though.
Yeah, at some point. I
I
typically
assume
do
it's
that.
worst.
Sometimes
That's
they're
how it
not.
is.
Like, here's the thing: you
Yeah.
think all of them are worse, and then sometimes they surprise you. Like
Yeah.
when I
It's the
watched
same writer, so that's makes me
Yeah.
hopeful at least.
when I watched the Amityville Horror remake. I mean, the first one's not great anyway, but I was expecting it to be a lot worse, and then it actually was better.
Yeah.
I've also determined that because of this movie, giraffes can sense evil, and I think
Oh
that
my
we should use them to root out evil.
Those are evil.
I think
my gosh.
when we elect new presidents, they have to be sniffed by a giraffe, and if the giraffe does
Oh.
not take, they need to be out.
Because it's non-partisan, it's not an elephant or a donkey. It's
Yeah, it's a giraffe.
Giraffe.
Giraffe is like the most gender-neutral animal. That's the thing. You put that in a kid's bedroom, it doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl. They're gonna love it.
Oh, they're gonna love it. We
Boys
love
like it because they're tall. Girls like it because they're like a horse. I don't know. I'm making up stereotypes. It's probably bad of me. I have a blog where I tell people not to watch James Bond because it's sexist. I should stop making these jokes.
I mean, you watch every James Bond movie anyway. Oh,
I'm not there yet. I'm close.
Oh, almost.
I have 5 more.
Oh gosh. Okay. I know I'm just biding time to figure out who I don't want to spoon.
I mean, you've got the assassin, the psychopath, the mass murdering like space god, the cult leader, and the French Knights.
I still think I'm going to go with the French. I really don't want to deal with
Don't
them.
want to spoon the French. All right, that's totally
I mean,
normal.
that sounds bad, but...
You heard it here first. French people, my brother has no desire to spoon you.
They're just rude. I mean, not all French. I mean, these French people in this movie specifically.
Now who's offending a whole culture?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Monty Python and the Holy Grail is a classic.
It's a classic. It's the definition of a classic. Right? Yeah,
We love this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and right out the gate, I forgot, because I hadn't seen it in a while. I forgot how funny those freaking opening credits are.
The opening credits, yeah.
They just get so weird, and it's so funny. And I think that Monty Python as a group had something that every sketch comedy team since has tried to capture and just can't figure out.
It just can't. Yeah.
It can't match that, whatever it is that they're doing.
The best thing for me is that, like, as a kid, when I saw this when I was, like, 8, it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm older, it's more funny. Like,
It's really funny.
But it's weird. It's, like, childish and adulty at the same time. So
Well, and you did the show. You did the musical.
I did the musical. Yep.
So
Which
was
some of my
it
favorites.
was it funnier watching it, knowing like some of the musical stuff?
Yeah, knowing these lines now, but they do cut my favorite. The Sir Galahad goes into the castle of sexy women, which is not in the musical. It's one of my favorite bits.
The castle anthrax. That's okay.
Yeah.
See, I actually don't like that bit.
Oh god,
That's one of the few
I think it's
seasons.
funny.
I get it, but I don't think that the scene it's funny. I do think the scene at the end when Lancelot comes in.
Yeah, that's
and they're
why.
arguing about like this is just one big sex joke. Your bit, like at least my bit had substance. Your bit was stupid. I was like, that's funny.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I just love the fact that I have to save him, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then there's so many iconic things. Like I still know people who have probably not even seen this movie who do the coconut horse stuff. And I will point out, I was thinking about it when I was watching it this time. When Dennis, the little swamp like guy, says, "I'm not old, I'm 37." I was like, I think if you calculate medieval ages, he's probably actually pretty old.
Pretty old, yeah.
Like they didn't live that long.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I appreciate Graham so much in this movie because he only really he plays a couple of voices, but he mainly just plays the king.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really smart choice because he's so perfect for this one lead role. Actually.
Well, and I think I want to say it was him and John Cleese that they were back and forth about, and they just said, no, Graham's the straight man in the group anyway.
Which is funny because
he's not.
Oh my gosh.
And we gotta give a tribute, rest in peace, Terry Jones, who not only played Bedivere, but directed this thing.
This one.
And the next one. He directed Life of Brian, too.
That's right. I guess the reason why I picked this, so this is the first thing I picked and probably what made me think of the list, this is the first movie that upset me growing up because I was like, I got to the ending, I'm like, oh, it's gonna happen. What's going on? What do you mean that we're getting arrested? I was like, my little kid brain did not understand what was happening.
I forgot how involved the cops are in the like bits in the movie. I was like, they're there the whole time.
Yeah, just trying to.
Is that in the show? Is it does the narrator get okay?
No, they cut all that stuff, which is a bummer.
I was
the
gonna
narrator
say
does get killed at one point, but they don't.
They don't like arrest anybody.
No.
That's right, because doesn't the musical end with them like singing "Always Look on the Bright Side of Life"?
With that's a big wedding. Like everyone gets married.
Classic musical theater.
I really think would have. I've said that. I said it would have been funny if cops came in during the wedding and were like, "Get out of here!" Like started arresting people.
That'd have been great. Yeah, they probably changed it because I'm sure that ending doesn't track. I know some people who hate this movie.
Yes, I know.
As people who just do not get the absurdism of Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh gosh.
I also just like. I was gonna ask you, have you seen the YouTube where they recut this to look like an actual like Lawrence of Arabia epic?
Yeah,
and they take it, like they cut the scenes and make it the music back. It's like super serious. So if you're watching this and you haven't seen that, it's so funny.
It's so funny. It works so well.
It's like I love all those when they chop the movie up and make a trailer that's like Shining as a family comedy, Mary Poppins as a horror film, like
yeah.
Yeah.
And my favorite line in the whole thing is the Tim read, is when he says his name, which I read was a mistake. He couldn't remember the actual name right.
And you can see it. That's the best part. Is you can see him. There are some who call me, and you can see him like, I'm never going to remember this second name. Tim.
Tim.
And it's like, and you can almost see John Cleese like, telling Terry Jones, like, I'm not saying that name. And you can fight me on it, but you got to deal with me going, Tim.
Tim. Oh my gosh. So good.
No, I love that scene. And then the scene that follows it with the rabbit and the hand grenade. I mean, it's classic. Like, it. And I think nowadays we have so many bits of, like, misdirection where some cute thing comes out and is just, like, a murderous monster that... Yeah. Like, think about, like, I can't even imagine watching this in 1975 when that happened and people were like, what is going on? The rabbit!
The rabbit's evil.
Yeah. What's really funny, here's a fun fact. One of the guys in this movie is now an actual knight.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even think about that.
You know which one it is?
Is it... I want to assume... Is it... It's not an obvious one, is it?
No, it's not. And it's not for Monty Python. It's for something else.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not one of the 6 guys?
No, it is one of the 6 guys, but he didn't get knighted because of doing this.
I'm going to go with Michael Palin, but I think I'm wrong.
Michael Palin was knighted because he narrated a bunch of travel documentaries.
That's right. Oh my gosh.
He's like the British like voice of travel. Yeah, and so he's been knighted, and so it's so weird to be like, he's playing a knight, and now he is a knight. Good.
I don't want to say. I always say like he's my favorite, but then I think of other bits from other people.
Everybody's good. This is a group that works as an ensemble. Like all 6 of them work together, and I don't think you can cut. I mean, you could probably cut Terry Gilliam out, and it wouldn't change a whole lot. But I do love that they incorporate his drawings as like God is one of them, and the Black Beast of Ah. And then he plays himself dying trying to animate it. That's my favorite.
Yes.
And he inspired. This is a fun fact for anyone who doesn't know. His drawings were what inspired the style of South Park.
Oh.
So if you like South Park and the way it is, it's because they liked Terry Gilliam's sort of cut paper style of low maintenance animation.
Which is good. Sorry.
No, you're good. Go.
Another thing, his style of animation during the TV shows what makes me so uncomfortable. I mean, I know it's like sometimes like it just does stuff that's like too creepy. But
it's so weird. Yeah. I think this is too. I think this is like the perfect. If you haven't seen the show, and I think for a lot of people this was their introduction to Monty Python, I think they didn't even realize there was more of that.
Yeah.
Like, if you can watch this without having any of their other stuff. Because I feel like all their other things, you have to kind of know their show to get. Especially Meaning of Life, which makes no sense, even if you do know how they work. But But this one just has so many iconic scenes. You have the Black Knight, you have the Knight to Say Ni sequence, you have the whole thing with Lancelot going to the wedding, which kills me every time. Oh. You have the Spamalot or the Camelot song. You have the bridge with the questions. Like every time. And I think I was thinking about watching this. I was like, I think next to Star Wars, this might be the movie I quote the most.
Probably is the movie I quote the most.
No, it's a lie. I quote Die Hard all the time. Obviously, we named the podcast after it, but like it's probably top 5 movies I quote on a regular basis. I
want to say I quote this in Life of Brian a lot, so it's kind of weird trying to do a toss up between these two. I guess I also quote The Producers a lot.
I do scream I'm wet and I'm hysterical more than I probably should.
My blanket.
I also do the fat bit. Fat.
It's just the ultimate.
Usually when I'm referencing myself, I'm like fat.
Oh.
This game, if you guys haven't watched this before, the whole game that I play is to try and get Nate to fall out of the chair laughing. He hasn't done it yet, but I'm gonna get him one day.
Give me there. I don't want to do it because this chair squeaks too much.
Yeah, mine too. I'm trying to sit very still. It's not easy.
Yeah.
I also didn't realize this movie was so short. I thought this was like a 2-hour thing.
I know. I felt like I was missing something because I guess I was looking for the musical numbers this time, but it's okay.
Nope, not there.
Not there.
Yeah.
I think there was talk of making the musical into a movie at some point.
I can see that.
I'm not sure if they're doing. Yeah. Oh, but for now, watch that and then watch Life of Brian back to back.
And if it's real weird and you're not getting it,
sorry. Suck it.
It's great and you're wrong.
Oh my god.
No, it's not. Okay, now we gotta go the spoon metric. That's 2 spoons. Oh god, this one's hard. I don't like any of these choices. I'm gonna go Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I don't want to abusive space dad just doesn't seem like someone I should be spooning.
Too big.
I'm gonna start out by saying this movie has, I think, my favorite opening sequence of just about any superhero movie.
Yeah.
And I have this thing. I have this theory called the game of the movie, where basically the opening scene is supposed to set up the rules of how the movie's gonna play out, and you have to help the audience understand how it works. And this one does it in 3 ways. One, they introduce the villains already having destroyed Xandar and acquiring the Power Stone. Like, they don't even need to show you that. That's just a sign of, like, this guy came in, he busted, it's not even important.
Yeah.
2, they kill off the only other villain at this point who everybody was, like, universally, this guy's the best. In a sort of symbolic, like, that guy's gone, and he's not coming back anymore, even though he just did.
Yes. We do have that, though.
the time travel gets all funky.
Yeah.
And then says, this is the new guy who's going to be, like, your favorite. And then my favorite bit, and then they throw the Hulk at him, and he kicks the Hulk's ass.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so the strongest, like, the Hulk's always been, hey, we can't bust this, throw the Hulk at it. And now something is too powerful for the Hulk.
Yeah.
And it's real telling. And so from there on out, I was like, as soon as that scene ended, I was like, this is going to be really good.
Yeah. And it's a villain I've been waiting a long time for. I love him in the comics. I know it's not the same, but he's still cool.
The fact that this even happened. I mean, go back to 2008 when they launched Iron Man.
Yeah.
And be like, in 10 years, you're going to see Thanos on the screen in a movie, and you're going to take him deadly serious.
Yeah.
And then even when he came out in Avengers and they showed that flip at the end in the credit sequence, I was like, there's no way.
Yeah, there's no way.
Like, this is a pipe dream.
I like this one a lot more than Endgame for me. Which I know I don't really like time travel except for Back to the Future, really. So I know that's my one toss up with the sequel to this. But I also just think the stakes are a lot higher, and at the end of the next movie, when everyone starts coming back, you're like, stakes kind of got deflated. And there's gonna
Right,
be
yeah.
out of them. Yeah.
The movies are trying to do two different things too. Like this
Yeah.
one is a story of a guy. It's basically the Avengers need to lose.
Yes.
Yeah, and the other ones, the Avengers need to win, and like it needs to just be a Endgame. And this is one of the reasons I think a lot of people like it. Is it's sort of a highlight reel of like we're gonna go back and remind you of all the cool stuff we did, and Thor: The Dark World, and, and then we're gonna end it with this big epic climax. But this one's real. It's weirdly personal for a movie about people jumping around in space.
Yeah. I think the most amazing feat of this whole thing, because other big blockbusters will put out a movie. I mean, you have to wait like a year or 2 years. I mean, 2 years to 3 years. This one back to back, both summers, and they're both long, 3-hour long movies.
Yeah.
And we got them both. We have to wait. Like Star Wars still took 2 years after the first one. Yeah.
I gotta say too, this is my favorite. This was my favorite movie watching experience in the theater.
Yeah.
I saw it twice in the same weekend. And the first time it was cool just to like experience like the room of people who hadn't seen it, also going like, whoa, especially the ending.
Yeah.
And that sort of moment when he snaps and I'm like, they're gonna kill like half these characters and you don't know which ones they're going. So you're like,
that's
oh
the
my
best
gosh.
part.
But then to watch it again, knowing who's gonna get dusted, and to just hear the reactions from people. That was the coolest thing. And I said this, for Marvel to have the balls to say Black Panther just made us a ton of money and we're still gonna dust him. We're not gonna go back and like find a way to rewrite him into the story.
No.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And it's a little sad now.
I think that
because that was like the last real like we didn't get anything outside of Chadwick's like last big performance was in Infinity War because he was not in Endgame very much. But
no. And I did expect them to take out Spider-Man even before I went to go see it, just because I said like I know it's gonna be the big push for Iron Man in the next movie.
Yeah.
Like his kid.
I called they were going to keep the 6 original Avengers alive. I was like, I feel like they're going to use the next one to wrap up all their stories.
I did not see. I think the big one for me was most of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like they already killed off one, and then they just kept like actually like disappear. It was so weird.
Yeah. But I think, speaking of the Guardians, I think this is Chris Hemsworth's best Thor movie.
Yeah.
I think that the journey he goes on in this is so strong, and like to play both the funny moments and to like have like the really heartfelt serious like I've lost everything. Yeah. And to do it in a way that you genuinely are like, wow, yeah, this guy's going through it. I think that it kind of redeemed Thor for me, because for a while Thor was like my least favorite Avenger for a while. And this is the one where I was like oh, Thor's got a lot going for him, besides just being, Chris Hemsworth.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I also think that after the number of Kevin Bacon jokes that they've made, that Kevin Bacon needs to be in the MCU, even if it's just as himself.
Yeah, I don't care.
Star-Lord meets Kevin Bacon, and it's just like a weird moment. It's like when I want it to be like when Troy meets LeVar Burton in Community, and he's just like. he just can't even.
Oh my gosh. But it's good. It's super-y. But you have to. Sorry, everyone. You do have to watch a bunch of other movies before you can watch this movie.
You don't have to watch all of them.
No.
You can get through. Like you can skip Ant-Man, and you can skip. Obviously the ones that came after it. You can skip a couple of the like origin movies. Don't watch Iron Man 2. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
No, you need to watch it because that's when it introduces Black Widow. Gosh darn it.
Do you have to watch? Oh God, do you have to watch Civil War?
You have to watch Civil War because of the breakup. Yeah, the big ones are all of the origin movies, or the first time one of the 6 original Avengers shows up. So like Iron Man 2, Hulk, Thor, Captain America, through Avengers.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of skip to Age of Ultron. Like you don't have to, but you could, and it wouldn't. there's a lot that goes on in between that wouldn't. But then all that stuff comes back in Endgame, so it's really, Here's the deal. There's a movie called Iron Man. Watch it, and then just follow the trajectory that it sends you on.
I still say watch Hulk. But
I love freaking Hulk.
I love all the Hulk movies. I don't care.
There's a lot of mid 2000 superhero movies that people are like, nah, and I was like, those are actually pretty good.
Really good. It's hard to do a Hulk movie because you have to make it about him fighting himself instead of fighting other things.
Yeah. The only couple of reasons, I think the reason this one's less for me in terms of, like, I like Endgame more is because there's some stuff that just comes in that they didn't introduce very well. Like, the Black Order's, like, out of nowhere. And they're all really cool characters. And I was like, I wish these guys had been there for a while. And they do this thing. So, the Guardians of the Galaxy timeline is really weird. It's like Guardians, and then a month later Guardians 2, and then 4 years and Infinity War. So there's 4 years of character development that we do not get with these characters.
Yeah.
And then we're just supposed to, like, buy. And that's when something I know a lot of people had problems with. We literally just saw Pete and Gamora get together, and now they're, like, supposed to be, like, super close, and it doesn't make any sense to us, because we're like, didn't they just, like, figure this out an hour ago?
Exactly.
Whoa! That was my phone.
That was scary. I have so much to say about stuff. I feel like we're going to be on the superhero thing if I start going.
Here's the deal. A couple other takeaways. Watch WandaVision after you've seen this. You'll love it. And I will say this again. This movie and Endgame prove she's the strongest damn Avenger.
Yep.
I love when she busts down and, like, throws all that crap, and Okoye is like, why was she up there all this time?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But I think now I'm just waiting for Doctor Strange 2.
Doctor Strange 2 is going to be so good. I mean, I've been watching all the trailers for everything. I think they're all going to be... Shang-Chi just had Abomination in one of the trailers. Yeah. Speaking of Hulk. Like, I was like, wait, what? That's how you're throwing this guy back in? What happened? So, I think there's a lot you can say about it, but the big one is that Thanos is the protagonist of the movie, which is such a weird thing. To put your villain as your sort of focal character.
Yeah, which is really cool.
And to watch him, like, get to his goal and actually succeed. And Josh Brolin gives a hell of a performance.
I think that's part of the reason I don't like Endgame as much, because Thanos isn't in it as much. Mm-hmm. It's really bad.
Yeah, and like Josh Brolin acting through all that CG.
Yeah,
is so strong.
So good, so good,
so good.
Well, let's shut up.
Okay. Let's shut up.
Sorry. Oh God. Okay. I got 3 options with a cuddle.
You got the stalker, the psycho murderer, and the cult leader. So which one would you hope to spoon the least?
The least. I'm still gonna go with the murderer.
Go with creep, or no country.
No Country for Old Men. Yeah.
Okay, that was my next. That was the one I was between with Thanos.
Yeah.
So another Josh Brolin movie.
Yeah.
Because I picked 2 without realizing it.
Which I forgot until, like, later when I was looking at IMDb. I'm like, oh right, he played Thanos.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I love. This is off topic. In Deadpool 2, because he shows up in Deadpool 2 as Cable. I love when Deadpool calls him Thanos. It kills me every time.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, we still need Deadpool in, like, an actual Marvel movie. Like...
It's gonna happen. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah. So we got. I don't know. I want to say this is my favorite Coen's brother movie, but
it's between this and Oh Brother Where Art Thou for me.
I like that. I also really. If I'm in the mood, Big Lebowski's my number 1, but...
Big Lebowski's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one doesn't... It doesn't feel like their other ones. It doesn't feel as... It's, like, not as funny.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have that sort of wry humor that they typically have. It's just like, intense.
I think that's part of the reason why it's one of my favorites, because it doesn't feel like their other movies. It feels like it's trying to do its own thing.
I will say this is easily in my top 5 Best Picture winners that I've seen. And I know a lot of people were real mad that this beat There Will Be Blood, but I'm like, this is a better movie.
It's a better movie.
That's a better
Sorry.
performance. Like, I'll give you, Daniel Day-Lewis is a better performance in that movie.
Oh, this guy
But
is
this
so
is a better
good.
movie. I'm not talking about Javier Bardem because he won for.
Okay.
I'm saying as a lead character.
Oh, did he win for supporting?
He won supporting.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And he's the. I mean, I'd say he's the best. I think he's the best performance that I've seen, except for Heath Ledger in the last like 15 years.
Yeah.
Like easily.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Every time he's on screen, you're worried he's gonna do something like something terrible.
This is one of those ones I call a butt clincher because like you basically just like tense up and then you don't drop it. And a couple of times, one of the things I noticed this time, the first couple murders are like really visceral and they show them, and then they stop showing them. They just show him walk into a room, someone's there, and then he walks out, and you just know what he did.
Yes.
Like they don't even need to tell you. Yeah, Sugar killed somebody. Like that last one where he walks out and just checks his boots, and you're like, you know exactly what he just did.
Oh god.
You don't even need to see it.
You need to see it. I forgot my love for Tommy Lee Jones. I miss that man. I miss him being in movies.
He's still in stuff, I think.
I haven't seen him in anything in a long time.
I don't know if he's been anything good, but he's still in stuff.
Okay, he is. He's doing things, but
yeah.
And then Woody Harrelson, who I forgot was also in this.
I forgot Woody Harrelson was in this. I forgot Stephen Root was in this for a little bit. And Kelly MacDonald finally not being Scottish, which
that's a good point.
About time.
So go back to it. I think the unfair thing about this though is he goes from this, which I thought was older. I thought this movie came out in like early 2000s.
Nope, 07.
He goes from this immediately, like a few years later, to Skyfall to play one of my other favorite villains.
Yeah.
He kind of also wins in that one.
Yeah, that one's tricky. That one's a little tricky.
Yeah.
it's the Bond movies have especially the modern ones have such a weird kind of dichotomy to. Once they stopped like going in, I've been watching way too many of them. Once they stopped going in that same structure of like villain sets up this girl, Bond, gadget,
yeah,
infight. Like,
oh my god.
Even the ones I really like, I'm like, it's still you could trace that with a line exactly how that movie's gonna go.
Now I just want to talk about James Bond again. Okay, I gotta stop.
Well, I've watched all of them except for I've seen them all now.
Maybe I just need to sit down and watch all of them, and that will just be one of our podcasts. It's just talking about
There's
James
24
Bond.
of them, with one more coming out this year. So
I'm halfway. I know that.
I will say too. Going back to the actual topic at hand.
Yeah.
I was watching this and I was going, this is a better Terminator movie than Terminator.
Yeah. Oh, it so is.
It's like weird how good it is and how Bardem, like if they cast Bardem as the Terminator, I'd be like, yep, I get it. He's already done that, so I don't think he would, but
yeah.
He's like a force of nature almost. He's like not even a person.
Yeah, he's not human is what I feel.
Yeah, he's like a shark going after chum in the water, and I literally forgot to take notes for like the first third of the movie because I was just watching it because that scene at the gas station with the coin is such. I think it's probably one of the most perfect scenes in any movie I've ever seen.
If there's one scene that makes me go, this deserves best picture over There Will Be Blood, it's that big scene.
And then everybody quotes the milkshake scene, which
it's funny. I'm sorry, it's not even that dramatic. It's funny.
That was the alternate take title for this podcast. Was I just called it, I drink your milkshake?
Drink your milkshake, which is still great.
People would have been like, "What is this? What does this even mean?
What do you mean you drink my milkshake?" Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh. No. You're so right. I think it's in top 3 of my favorite movies of the decade between 2000 to 2010.
Yeah, easily. I think
nothing beats Return of the King. I'm sorry, everyone.
Guys, I'm gonna stand up and say it. Return of the King is the best picture winner since 1989.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what
that's Driving Miss Daisy. It's actually farther back than that. I just haven't seen past that. So
got it. Okay.
No, I've seen Rain Man, 88. It's the best one. It's the best one since '88. I've seen Rain Man.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, it's the best one. Followed very closely for me by Silence of the Lambs, and then this.
That's good. That's very good.
And then Birdman, because Birdman for president.
President. Oh.
Nobody gets my Birdman obsession, and I'm like, I can't explain it to you.
You can't explain it.
That movie just came out at the time when it was exactly what I was like experiencing in life.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I needed.
Yeah. All right, cool. Any other?
No.
No.
I don't know what else to point out in this movie. I've had a hard time even making ideas.
Here's what I'll say. It's a little slow. Like, if you don't like slow, it's a Western, really. Yeah. So it has that slow Western feel. So if you like fast-paced action thrillers, this isn't the movie for you. But if you like a good character piece, this is the best movie we've talked about today.
Yes.
Like, if you're going to watch one, if you're going to walk out of this podcast and go, I need to watch one of these movies, this one is the one to watch.
Yes. This is the one. And then watch a bunch of other Coen movies.
Bunch of other Coens. And everything Javier Bardem does, because he's fabulous.
Yes, exactly.
Sweet.
Okay.
Oh, is it me?
It's me. So...
I guess you were right. I'm gonna pick Creep because I don't want to spoon that guy.
I want to spoon him.
I only want to spoon him because he's nice.
Yes.
I want to spoon Joseph / Peach Fuzz / whatever his name actually is.
Mark. Yeah. Mark.
Creep is an indie made by oh god, what's the guy's name? Patrick Bryce and Mark Duplass. They basically just went up to a cabin over a weekend and filmed like a bunch of stuff. And it's all like on that handheld kind of Blair Witchy feel. Yep. And it's about this guy who invites this like filmmaker to film him leaving some memories for his son before he dies, and then it turns out he's actually insane.
Yeah.
And is like a creepy, stocky, killy kind of person.
It's what he does. And it is... It's the when people ask me what's good horror movies that are on Netflix, this is the first one I play.
This is the one every time, yeah.
Rest in peace, Babadook. You suck.
You don't. It doesn't suck. Babadook's a good movie. It's just not very scary.
It's not very scary. Yeah, this is at least a little scary.
Yeah, this came in the wave of me watching all those like one-off indie horror films, and I was like, why is no one talking about this? Like everyone's talking about It Follows and the Babadook and a couple of the other ones. I was like, no one is talking about Creep, and Creep is so good. Most
brilliant. Yeah.
Oh. Creep is good because here's the trick. We've obviously spoiled the ending because of the podcast that we're doing. But you don't actually know what Joseph's deal is pretty much right up until the end.
Yeah, you don't have any idea.
You have this sort of sense that he's weird, but you don't really know if it's like homicidal weird or if he's just really, really creepy.
Yeah, this is why I won't let Lola watch this podcast until we watch Creepy together.
Oh, good. Good. It's also really short, so if you only have like an hour and 20 minutes, and you want something that's like quick and not fun, I wouldn't say fun is the right word, but if you want, this is one of the things I love about horror movies is that you can watch them all in like an hour and a half.
Yep, an hour. This one's only an hour. It's so so nice.
It's like an hour, and I think it's an hour 15 if you actually like factor in all the credits and stuff. But it goes so fast.
And I think what really spoils this movie, besides us though, is the fact that there's a sequel, which I haven't seen.
Sequel's not as good.
I'm not interested in it really because
sequel's a very different movie. It sets itself up differently. It takes away the ambiguity of it, and you don't. It's not as interesting because you know what his deal is out the gate. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I will say this invokes one of my few like actual life fears is someone in a room that I'm in and me have no idea that they're there. Yeah. Like there's a couple scenes where one of the characters is sleeping and the other character's like walking around in the room and it's like, oh my gosh.
God. And I love this is one of the only what are they called? Hand cam films where the guy actually is holding the camera. Yeah. And it works.
Well, because Patrick Bryce was also the director of the movie, so he just directed while he filmed himself.
Which is so great. And finally, I didn't think, I watched other things that Mark was in before this, like The League, and he's not that, I don't know, he's in a lot of comedies, and I always thought when I was watching, he's not that funny. So it was really nice to see him something not funny and go, oh, he is very good though.
Yeah.
He's a very
Well, I mean,
active.
he made himself a name for himself doing all those mumblecore indies.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they just kind of talk like this the whole time,
And
and
you're
not
like,
really. Yeah,
it's not
low
that
energy
interesting.
indie movies, which I'm not a big fan of, but this felt different,
Yes.
and I think it works too because he's not. I feel like Mark Duplass is one of those guys who's not in enough stuff that if you watch this, you wouldn't really like associate him out the gate. You'd have to take a minute.
Yep.
Like I think if she's not gonna watch it, but if Mom watched this, she wouldn't know who he was.
No idea.
Challenge to you, mother. Watch this movie.
Watch Creep and try to sleep.
There's no blood and gut stuff. She actually probably get through it. It's mostly just thrillery things.
Yeah, it's just thriller. I think that's what I like about it is that there really isn't anything scary that happens in it. Like, really? I mean, it's just somebody being weird.
It's creepy, which hence its name. Like, you will get that sort of spine-tingly, uneasy feeling.
Yeah.
But you won't, like, run from the room screaming a whole lot.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
but yeah, it's good.
It's good. And it doesn't do what new horror movies where it adds an extra twist. The twist is the twist. I mean,
It has one twist, and you.
I mean, yeah.
Here's the thing.
That's my big problem.
I think that's a good thing when a horror movie can go. This is how this is gonna end right out the gate. Like you can call it. Like that dude's gonna kill somebody.
Yeah.
And then the movie makes you by the end go, is he though?
Is he though?
Is he though? And then he does, and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even like see that coming.
Yeah, because it was so quick. It's so cool.
Yeah. Like for me to call an ending and then it just to happen, I was like, that's insane.
Yeah. And I love him. The final scene where he's talking about the murder after he's done it. And he's monologuing about, like, why did you still show up? Why didn't you bring anyone?
And why didn't you turn around?
I was walking right behind you.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, these questions. But yeah.
It's such a good little thing.
It's a good little thing. Love it. Love it.
And I love that Nate picked that one. Nate picked a horror movie for once. It wasn't me.
I picked a horror movie. Yes, I picked kind of two horror movies.
You picked two. I only picked one.
Yeah. So I guess do we move on to the last cuddle?
The last cuddle. We would all spoon Sir Christopher Lee.
I would love to rest in peace. I would love to spoon you.
Yeah.
My God. I picked the Wicker Man, a movie about
the OG Wicker Man. Don't if Nicolas Cage shows up, you're in the wrong movie.
You're in the wrong one.
I need to see that one now, though. I haven't seen the actual. No. I haven't seen the Nicolas Cage one. So
I don't hate it as much as everyone. I think the only thing they did wrong was cast Nicolas Cage, which sounds so bad, but he's not a straight man. He's not someone who's just wandering around. He's trying to act too much.
That's like. And really, I think that the character, the Howie character, like, he's not even that interesting.
No, he's not. He shows up to do his job.
Yeah.
And this is the other Hot Fuzz announcement. I got another one. His last movie was also Hot Fuzz as the professor. So we got two Hot Fuzzers.
Two Hot Fuzzes. Yeah. I had to turn on the subtitles for this one because it was so densely Scottish.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I couldn't understand just about anybody.
Yeah, I did too. Oh my gosh.
And I was waiting. I was like, is the bees scene in the remake something they did here? And then it wasn't, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know what the bees.
This one reminded me of Midsummer because I hadn't seen it before, and it was like, oh, it has that Midsummer feel of it's a cult, and that sort of question of just because someone group does something differently doesn't mean that it's necessarily wrong.
Yeah.
And the more Howie went on about like this isn't Christian, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Let's turn the Fox News down for a minute. I just alienated like 3 people. I've insulted Germany, you've insulted France, I've insulted like all of our extended family. This is going well.
Oh my gosh. Something I really like though, I love the Wicker Man, the actual like stack giant one thing, which looks exactly the same in the Nicolas Cage one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, which is nice they kept that.
Yeah.
But no, it's basically the movie is just him going around town, and it's normal, and then it gets weird, and then it gets normal, and then it gets weird.
Yeah. And then there's like a ritual, and he
Ritual.
gets in over his head.
Yep, and he figures out he's a part of the ritual, which is
Yeah.
Bernie the Wicker Man.
I will say there's so many tribal songs in this that this is basically a musical.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah,
you could argue that there. I don't know what the criteria of like how many songs does it have to be a musical, but this comes pretty close.
Yep.
I also thought it was so funny when he was getting pushed up in the thing and they're locking him in there and getting ready to burn it, and he's screaming all the like, God will come for you. God will be watching. And I was like, how? He's been on the island, a couple days. He's met all these people and seen all their customs. At what point does he not figure out that God has very little sway with these people?
These people. Although that is because I know Christopher Lee, like we talked about this earlier, that this is like his favorite role. His best acting moment is when Howie points right at him and says, "Next year it will be you," and he kind of stands there confidently, but also like you can see a little bit like, "Don't do this! Like, don't do this!
Oh shit!
Oh crap!
Oh, no,
you just called me out."
He just gave him an idea.
Yeah, I love that so much.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing.
He is. Sir Christopher Lee might be one of the greatest actors who has ever lived.
Yes.
And I will fight people who say otherwise. Like, that man is amazing.
I put him in my top 5 humans.
Top 5 humans. This is the dude that made who turned 90 and was like, I'm going to make a metal album.
Metal album.
Quoting, like, poetry about Charlemagne.
No one's ever done this. And
everyone was like, that's fucking badass, dude.
That's so good. Oh my gosh. It's just, I mean,
yeah.
The amount of iconic things this man's done as well.
It just, and it has trees that look like penises. If you like those,
you like those.
I was like, was that bush accidental, or did they just intentionally put a penis bush right in the middle of that garden?
The weirdest scene for me in this though is the naked woman dancing against the wall scene, where he's on the other side, like, oh, I can feel like something's happening.
Weird. It's so weird. The thing with this movie, and I don't know if it's just me, I like all of the like islanders better than I like Howie.
Yeah.
Like, not even like, it doesn't even happen over time. Like, out the gate, I'm like, this dude's the worst character in this movie. Yeah. And I can't wait till he dies.
Oh my gosh. See, I thought, because I did see the Nicolas Cage one before I saw this one. I've seen them both a while ago. I thought the cost, because the Nicolas Cage gets into like a bear costume. It looks just like a stupid bear. I love the costume he gets in this one, the weird hunchbacky thing.
I wonder if that was a Midsummer reference too, because the Midsummer has the guy in the bear at the end of it.
Oh yeah! Oh my god! Something about it.
Well, I wonder if that's like a European pagan outfit, and they just used it in both.
Yeah.
About Euro pagan rituals.
But. Yeah, it really. I didn't even think about the fact until you said it seems like Midsummer. It's so Midsummer.
It's so Midsummer. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's a movie I haven't seen in a while either. That's it. Yeah, we spooned everybody.
We spooned everybody. We spoiled 6 movies, pretty much. Oh.
We're gonna tell you at this point, and we know it's too late. The only way you wouldn't have been spoiled is if you had just not watched this in the first place. And I'll probably put a spoiler warning in the description just to be like, spoilers!
I told you. We
if you don't want to know any of these movies.
No. Oh my gosh.
But then again, how are they going to know what we picked?
I don't know. Yeah. I'm sending you the bear punch Nicolas Cage.
Okay, I'll look at it later.
I know, it's my favorite thing. Okay, anyways.
Here you go.
Wait, whose turn is it?
It's your turn to the line. You also get to pick the next category again.
Wait, what line did you say last week?
What did I say last week? It was something. What the heck did we do? It was my birthday week. What did we do?
I don't remember what we did now. We did your movies.
I quoted something.
I'm sure you did.
Oh, I quoted the Truman Show. That was it. It was that. If I don't see you, good afternoon.
Oh gosh. Well. Okay. The bees. I was just gonna do the bees. That's all I wanted to do. I love Wicker Man. I love all of them. Good and
The
bad.
bees, not the bees.
Jeez. Oh,
Cool,
gosh.
cool, cool.
Cool. Well, that was fun. It was a
good.
list. I'll send you my next category then.
All right, audience, it'll be a surprise.
Be surprised. That was. I'm so
Adios.
Adios.